On this channel, I've shown you guys my journey from the very beginning, from taking course careers, finishing course careers, becoming an SDR, and documenting my entire SDR journey. But now it's time for me to document my account executive journey. So let's jump right into it. All right, now in tech sales, there are two career paths that you can take. One is you can go the AE route and stay an individual contributor, or two, you can go the leadership route, go into an SDR manager role, then a director of business development, then a VP of sales, then all the way maybe up to a CRO. But those are two different career paths, both extremely high earning potential, but it's based off what suits you best. So me personally, I decided to go into the AE route. That has always been my goal. I love sales and I just love closing deals, and it's just super fun. So I became an account executive at my current tech company and I enjoy my role completely. But for month one, I was a little bit shocked. Like, I almost couldn't believe it that I was an account executive. And so really what month one is you start to get on these sales calls. And so how it works is an SDR books meetings for an account executive to close a deal and to generate money or income for the company. That's the whole process for it. And so the AE's on the other side of those meeting books. So I used to be cold calling, booking meetings, but now I'm on the other side taking the meetings. So pretty much month one is I'm just sitting on these sales calls with my VP of sales, with other account executives, and I am just literally sitting there with my camera on, listening to the conversation, how it's starting out, what questions does the prospect ask, and kind of just getting a feel for of what it's actually like to be on a sales call. And that was pretty much my entire month one. Slowly but surely, I was asking a few questions, but for the most part, I was just observing, taking notes, watching call recordings, just understanding what our value props is, although I already knew, but how to develop that into a conversation on a sales call. Now, day 60 as an account executive, this is when I start to get my feet wet a little bit and start being more comfortable on these sales calls. Like, I'm already, watching a bunch of call recordings, I'm in a bunch of meetings, but instead of like a 90-10% where I would contribute 10%, someone else on my team would contribute 90, we'll go from an 80-20 to a 70-30 and to a 60-40. So now I was actually, talking quite a bit on these sales calls. As the month progressed, the more I would talk. And during this month, I actually closed my first deal, meaning I got someone to sign the contract saying, let's get started with your solution. And that was like the craziest feeling. Now, I can't take all the credit for the first one. I had a lot of help from my sales manager, but it was definitely a crazy experience. Like, booking a meeting as an SDR is a great feeling, but it's the same feeling as an AE when you close a deal. And so I was just super ecstatic, and you just get super fired up, super pumped up closing deals. And it's honestly like a surreal feeling, like just a bunch of adrenaline, your endorphins, like you're just super happy, neurochemicals going crazy, and it's such a good feeling. So closed my first deal for the second month as an account executive. Now I'm starting to feel a little bit comfortable, but not 100%. Like I said, I'm at like a 60-40% where I contribute 40%, someone else on my team is contributing 60%, but the weight is slowly shifting to my side. So now I'm getting a little bit more comfortable as an account executive on the second month. Now, month number 3, this is where things really start to change. At first, when you transition into a new role or a new position at any company, at any job, like, you feel a little bit of uncertainty because you do not have the familiarity or experience in that position or having that responsibility. And so by month 3, I felt extremely comfortable. I did the best that I've ever done in terms of getting contracts signed or deals closed. And I'm feeling completely comfortable on these sales calls to the point where I'm literally on it by myself, literally closing deals, securing next steps. And it's still a lot of work compared to an SDR. Like, both still have a lot on their plate. As an account executive, you're not only taking the meetings, but you're sending follow-up emails, you're taking notes, you're securing the next meeting, you're just making sure that you're answering all their questions. If they have any additional questions that you didn't answer, you got to go back to talk to your team, send out updated emails, going back and forth. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that you do as an account executive, and you have to do that with multiple prospects or customers at the same time. So you got to do like follow-up tasks. You just got to make sure you're on top of the account at all times. And so it's definitely completely like rewarding. Like, if I had to choose an SDR and AE role, I would go to an AE role as my personal preference because it's a lot more fun. The workload's still the same, but as an SDR, your day-to-day is a lot more predictable, doing like 60 dials, 80 dials a day, sending out emails. But as an account executive, it's more conversational, and you can actually have conversations with someone instead of just cold calling people that probably are doing something with their day. But both extremely rewarding. But at this point, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to see what month 3, or not month 3, but month 6 looks like. And then my first 12 months as an AE, one of my goals is to close over 7 figures or over $1 million in tech sales as an AE. So that's my goal. And then eventually after $1 million, I'm gonna shoot for 10 million and see how that goes from there. So completely rewarding. It's kind of crazy to think about. Less than 12 months ago, I was in Course Careers taking a tech sales bootcamp, just learning what an SDR does, learning about sales cadences, sales software. Now I'm an account executive closing deals with not only tech startups in the AI space or cybersecurity space, but just learning so much in the tech industry and just having a blast while I'm doing it, and additionally getting compensated fairly decently, I would say. So I'm having a blast, and that's going to be pretty much my 90-day update as an account executive. So literally when you're starting out, you're just watching call recordings, you're sitting on the meetings, listening to it, observing, and just taking notes. Eventually it's going to come to a point where you're leading the conversation, you're doing the discovery calls to see if it's a good fit. If they're a good fit, you book them for the next meeting to do a demo of the platform that they're purchasing. And if you answer those questions and you just provide a very thorough demo and you really care about them instead of yourself, put the customer first, and you're not too pushy, not too aggressive, pretty casual and pretty fun. I always used to think sales was something that was very serious. I think sales is like the most least trusted profession because that's just like a very stereotypical. When you think of sales, it's someone selling something to you that you don't want, don't need, or can't afford. But when you're in sales, you're literally solving business problems and having a solution and bridging the gap from their problem to where they're trying to get. And so it's just a game of persuasion. And like I said, I'm having fun. But that's pretty much it. The 90-day update as an account executive. I want to make more AE role or more AE videos and document my journey more on the AE side, because I did that on the SDR side. So definitely look out for the account executive roles. I'm gonna be dropping a ton of gems, ton of tips. But without further ado, if you're looking to break into tech sales, I would highly recommend Course Careers. It's a tech sales bootcamp that allowed me to break into tech sales in 30 days as an SDR, and you can do it part-time. So if you're working a full-time job, you can do it part-time. If you're not working at a job, you can do it full-time. So it's definitely self-paced, extremely lucrative, extremely fun, extremely rewarding. And if you use the first link in my description, you can save $50 off on the bootcamp. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.